In cities of billions, men woke choking on the taste of copper and ash, gazing up through Hive canyons at skies already veined with descending bioforms. Within spans of days, defensive networks that had stood for centuries were overwhelmed. Macro cannon silos and orbital platforms spat fire into the endless storm of living meteors and descending spore pods. But for every bioform torn apart, 10 more fell. Rippers boiled up from cracked pavement. Termagants and hormagaunts poured through breach points in chattering torrents. Venom cannons shattered bastion walls. Carnifexes advanced like ambulatory fortresses, each footfall crushing bodies too numerous to count. Reclamation pools formed where the slain lay heaped. Pits and lakes of liquefied flesh roiled with feeder tendrils and churning digestion organisms. On some worlds, the populations were counted in tens of billions. In the ledgers of Leviathan, they were only numbers in a calculus of hunger. The remote war zone that concerned the Imperium at that moment lay upon the southern galactic fringe, a ragged chain of frontier systems half forgotten in the high halls of terror. These were not jewel worlds nor shrine worlds, but they were productive, agri-worlds, refinery planets, fortress stations anchoring minor warp routes. Together, they were a slender artery of food and material feeding the more luminous war zones farther coreward. One Leviathan splinter had risen to engulf them, a single branch of those vast shadowed tendrils curling around the cluster like a closing fist. Astropathic choirs burned out system by system. At first, the loss reports came in fragmented form. Distorted images of skies turned black with spore clouds, Vox logs filled with static punctuated by choking screams, fragmentary Vox code from void stations reporting multiple unknown contacts before dissolving into raw noise. Then even those scraps ceased. The shadow folded over the region entirely. Attempts at psychic projection met only a smothering pressure, an awful sense of being observed by something immense and starving. In the strategium of a lone fortress station, orbiting a depleted red star, the dying of those systems was recorded and quantified. The hexagonal chamber was carved from old stone and armor glass, its ceiling a vaulted dome inlaid with the sigils of ancient campaigns. Hololithic projectors threw shifting, three-dimensional star maps across the air, bathing the chamber in cold ghost light. Icons marked known worlds, warp routes, defense installations. One by one, those icons guttered and changed color. Worlds once marked compliant green bled into alarmed amber, then flared to angry crimson. For some, even that color was merciful. There were places on the map now marked only by black void glyphs, their data entries overwritten by a single, stark notation: contact lost. Inquisitor Corvin Hale of the Ordo Xenos stood at the center of the strategium, hands clasped behind his back, pale eyes reflecting the dying light of clustered stars. Around him, Segmentum command staff shifted uneasily, their uniforms immaculate, their faces haggard. Navy admirals, guard generals, cogitator adepts, all united by the same sick realization that the numbers flickering across their Auspex displays were not abstract measures. Each icon represented a world whose population was measured in the many millions at minimum, often in the billions. Yet the rate of loss was so swift that the slate scribe struggled to update casualty projections before they became obsolete. Hale spoke rarely as the reports were read out. When he did, his voice was low, almost conversational, with the calm of a man whose soul had already accepted the scale of what he faced. Vox transcripts of last stands, pictures of oceans turned to grey, lumpy sludge as digestion pools consumed every living thing from the microbial level up. Shots of skylines where once familiar hive towers stood against blue skies,